The first speaker to speak against the motion from Mazid Jarina Foundation School, Sayyidpur, Qazi Mifta Radhita.
Our national poet Qazi Nazrul Islam, a poet of love, affection and inspiration. The rebel poet in one of his poems has dreamed of a world which will rotate at the waist of human's hand. At the last word of his poem, he earnestly said, I want to watch the globe keeping in my hand. Today, 21st century is a time, honorable moderator, when we're spreading the ray of success in the revolutionary period of science and technology. Whenever we are approaching from 4th generation to 5th generation, in such a crucial point, the proposal that the first speaker of my opponent team has presented is totally illogical, unrealistic and ridiculous as well. Thank you, honorable moderator, for giving me the floor to deliver a speech at today's debate. Our today's motion is technology-based education is limiting students' knowledge aspiration. For a very logical and actual reason, I, along with my team, stand against the motion. That means we'd like to say technology-based education is never limiting students' knowledge aspiration. Rather, this medium is accelerating students' thirst for knowledge. Now, honorable moderator, there may be a question. For which reason students' knowledge aspiration is decreasing? In that case, we'd like to establish our position. That means social degradation and lack of responsibility is limiting students' knowledge aspiration. And to make our position more clear, we'd like to discuss two specific sides at today's debate. Firstly, why we are saying that technology-based education is increasing students' knowledge aspiration, and to prove that, we'd like to establish three standpoints at today's debate, which are, number one, technology as the element of manifestation of education program, number two, use of technology in enriched education program, and number three, technology as the medium of science and technology all over the world. On the other hand, there will be another question. For which reason students' knowledge aspiration is decreasing? In that case, we'd like to prove that social multidimensional degradation and lack of responsibilities are limiting students' knowledge aspiration. And here also, we'd like to establish three more points, which is, number one, involvement of students in juvenile gang and attachment with crime activities. Number two, lack of responsibility in family and educational institutions. Number three, engagement in drug addiction. Honorable moderator, now I'd like to clarify the first standpoint. Very first of all, I'd like to draw the kind attention of the first speaker of my opponent here. Dear friends, you have mentioned that technology-based education is limiting students' knowledge aspiration. But, honorable moderator, my opponent friends have made a self-contradictory speech because technology-based education can never limiting students' knowledge aspiration. Now, there may be another question. Let's take an observation. According to Secondary and Higher Education Directorate, during COVID-19 pandemic situation in Bangladesh television and other educational institutions, online classes were held, where students participated in those classes taught technology. Dear opponent, you are also the part of technology-based education system. Can you remember, during the disastrous situation, who saved your student life? But alas, by the course of time, you are blaming the life-saving education system. Honorable moderator, how ridiculous that is. And that's the point. Why their position has been totally rejected at today's debate. Now, there may be a question. What is the reason behind limiting students' knowledge aspiration? And for a clear observation of this question, I'd like to explain the first point. That means lack of responsibility in family and educational institutions. Honorable moderator, family is a primary skill of a child. And in the future route of a child is predetermined by its family. And in this case, educational institutions play a role of leading position. But, honorable moderator, it is really a frustrating picture when we can see some families to be careless at the responsibility of the students' learning process. As a result, those students' education program are hindered, and the student life comes to a standstill situation. But, honorable moderator, this is not happening from all the students across the country. Rather, it occurs from a few number of the students who are somehow totally deprived from their family care. Let's take a data. According to BRAC, a non-government organization have recently published a survey on rural education that says almost 97% dropout students are becoming the victim of the irresponsibility of their families regarding their learning process. As a result, those students' education program and knowledge aspiration become totally blocked. Honorable moderator, as for I clearly and specifically proved two sides of today's motion. Firstly, technology-based education never ever limits students' knowledge aspiration. Rather, this medium helping them accelerating to knowledge aspiration. On the other hand, students who are lagging behind in knowledge acquisition, each of them anyhow are victim to our mentioned social degradation and lack of responsibilities. So, Honorable Moderator, all the logics, observation, data and explanation once again clearly and surely prove that technology-based education is not limiting students' knowledge aspiration. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you, fellow judges. Thank you all.